Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. It's a nigga big shit. Big shit, big shit, big shit. Name another podcast like this.
Check it. This your boy ECO.
And I'm Money Moses, by the way, and we creating content every damn day.
Hey, man, check it, man. Hey, man, we got a guy here right now, y'all. He's a regular on Boss Talk, man. Ever since I started the platform, God put this man in my life, man. This dude, he come down and check on me every now and then. We in Texas, man. My guy's here, man. Melvin, Mr. Melvin Farmer, man. What's going on?
Oh, man, thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure to see you and Money Moses over here and hear the latest thing going on.
He what?
He called a lot to check up on people.
So I always try to keep the dialogue going, man.
Man, thank you so much, man. You know, you've been a blessing to the show, man. I wanted to call in favors. I know I called you. I told you, I said, man, I want Faison Love on the show, man. And people don't realize how this stuff happened. So it was like, man, and you were like, man, you know, I don't know. I try to call this person, that person. But then you say, just tell him I said to do it. That's when you know.
Oh, well,
you know,
I didn't say it like, let's so, because, you know, they'll
take it the wrong way. Yeah.
What it was, you asked me, did I know Faison? And that's my boy from back in the days, doing when he was first coming out in the game. And I just, you had somebody, and I just say once we couldn't find nobody, or when you see him, just send him my regards and ask him to call me, and maybe he could do a favor for you. And that's how Faison. And not only him, other
Fred Hampton Jr.
Fred Hampton in Chicago.
Yeah, that's it.
Chicago,
Lamar Lubin.
Yeah, Lamar Lubin, Dirty Riding.
Lamar said, I got to do it. If he said this just the other day, he calls me all the time, too. He's like, when Melvin said I got to go, I didn't even want to go, man. But then when I went, man, I was so happy I got to meet y'all. You know, it was just love afterwards. Yeah. But he was like, man, but I knew I had to go because Melvin had asked me to go.
Yeah, and usually I don't ask for favors. I just think, you know, try to create marriages in the game to where people's voices can be heard, and do what I can to help out.
Well, I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for that,
good
man.
Good
it was, OG Percy, you not when you and OG Percy, they had him and OG Percy had a hell of a transition. But when you came, man, he was
star-studded.
It was an honor to be in your presence, man.
Nah, say it right, he was star-studded.
It was just an honor, you know, because a lot of times people, you know, they'll look at you as a myth or a figure because they never get to meet you, or you know, but they've heard stories or they've seen you on different platforms, and it's like, dang, I'm really sitting here next to man. I'm sitting here next to this man. You know what I mean? And I think that's something else, because that can be a good influence too. It can be whichever way influence you want to influence it, right?
Yes, sir. You know, particularly when guys like Percy and them that come a little while later, as you know, the Crips blood started in L.A., but as they start fanning out across the land, a lot of times you'll see these images of guys that you only read or hear about, and it don't be so much starstruck. It's more like a sacrilege to where you're giving your props or whatever, the respect, because I don't like to be called OG because of the stigmatism attached to it, gangs and all that. So I don't really like to be called an OG because of what it represents now. And so I try to change the language to where we're just opportunity givers, giving people a chance to change their life and don't go down the same paths we was. So
man,
that's the game. Man,
you like I said, it's just something that you've been. I mean, I heard it from, I always say, Pop Johnson say, man, he said I was 61, I won. Like he was talking about the younger people who was dying. But to be the age that you've been 60 what, 3?
I'm 65 now.
65. Mm-hmm. And how much time did you do in prison?
I did over 30 some years.
Over 30 some years in prison. 65 years
life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part where you have to look at you and understand what you've been through, the process of what you've taken, you know, the strides in life that you've taken to be here today. And then for a young man that's done, you know, even had a smidget of issues or even thinking about getting into something, look at you, and anything can change, bro.
Yeah.
That's the game.
The message, you know. A lot of people tend have a better respect for somebody that's lived the life that they live because they're closest to the problem, so they're probably just as close to the solution. Whereas we have a lot of people up here creating dialogues about certain situations, but it really doesn't have a vested input or really nothing that can really make this happen when it comes to public safety, the lyrics, criminal redefining our community, restorative justice, mental illness, homelessness, drug addiction, mass incarceration, education over incarceration is what we preach. So a lot of times our voices are overshadowed by those that are doing the screaming and the shouting and the hollering, but it's a reason that people talk calmly.
When was the first time you seen in your account somebody that was a CRIP or claimed a set that it don't even have to be a CRIP, it could be any set outside of California?
That would have had to been starting on the west side. I can't speak for Compton or nowhere else, but I know on the west side we're not a CIF school. We're inner city. So that means we're city. We're not with the state, 300, the California Interscholastic Federation. We're inner city schools. So one of the first schools that started giving the inner city kids a D1 opportunity as opposed to a historical black college or a D2 level was Colorado.
Okay.
Colorado started letting Jerron Cherry, that came from Washington High, Eric Bieniemy, that's an NFL coach. All these guys come from the inner cities. James Lofton, all-pro wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, Reggie Theus, Darryl Strawberry, and guys of this nature. And that's how that came about to where everybody, that's when I knew that they started, cocaine was coming out at that time.
Okay.
Ether Basin, this before rocks.
Okay.
This in 77, 76. Right up in there, they were ether basin because prior to that, you had the disco era where it was fashionable to snort cocaine, wear the chains. Then you had the black exploitation era, 1972, Melvin Van Peebles. So we knew about cocaine from the black exploitation era. Come back, Charleston Blues, Shaft, and all those type of movies that glorify cocaine abuse, heroin, hoeing, and pimping is the best thing going. So it's nothing new as far as what's going on now.
How different was it? You know, you a guy that I can ask all kind of questions. When Marvin Gaye was out, there was no hip hop. How different was it back then?
Well, back then you had stories of broken romances, love, wasn't no bitches and horns.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh, yeah, turn out the lights and close the door. You know, he was one of the first ones to actually have women that I knew in my era in the early 70s. Teddy Pendergrass, Marvin Gaye, you had Parliament, you had the Isley Brothers was very big, but one of the most influential musicians as far as the culture, particularly in Los Angeles, and the Crips and the Bloods was James Brown.
Yeah.
A lot of the gangs that were off the west side were named after records. You got the Payback Crips, James Brown made Payback. You got Watergate, James Brown made This Is Watergate. You got the Underground, which is made by Curtis Mayfield, the Underground. You got the Family Song, which is the Inglewood Families after they were Chain Gang. So James Brown, when we were growing up, 71, 72, 73, up in there, you had people that were singing about black pride, say it loud, I'm black and the pride. You got Watts Stacks, and those were the conditions that were going on back then. And now they think it don't change, which it has, but the struggle is still the same. We don't went from water hoses to choke holes now, so what's really changed?
The whole only thing that changed.
That's all.
That's all.
I want to ask you about, you look at like the time when you look in hip hop, and it comes and it spurs and it's in on the West Coast. And I hear these stories about MC Hammer. It's like he may been dancing one way, but then the side of being from California comes out in some of the things that he was, dealing with. People would look at him in a way, oh, he danced, but in another way,
they look at him like he's just an entertainer. But if you really, one thing about prison, you learn to judge character.
Yeah.
Who you want to associate with. And when I see a MC Hammer, and I knew that he'd been to the Army and to the service, that tells me he's not a punk.
Okay.
Because they learning skills to survive and the things of that. So I heard a lot of stories, but I knew MC Hammer from when we were first in hip-hop.
Okay.
In fact, we were the first ones to make a hip-hop song after, we were second. The West Coast made We All in the Same Gang, and Boogie Down Production had made Nothing But Self-Destruction.
Okay.
So when I hear them talking about the lyrics and all this now, we've been done that. I was a member of Grand Jury Records with Michael Conception, arguably one of the biggest moguls in the game. He the last one standing, most definitely, since hip-hop started. But I happened to be there when he thought of the idea of creating Grand Jury Records. Then Teddy Riley gave him his break, and then we was with New Jack Swing. And you had Timberland Magoo, and I think her name was Missy Elliott, just before they even went on their solo careers. And then after that, it came with Russell Simmons come next. And then he got Blackstreet signed where nobody could sign it. Then he made Levin or the agent or whoever he met that took a liking to him. And so we've been in the game of hip-hop since it started up to now. I just was with Melly Mel from Grandmaster Flash, the Furious Five, and if you've seen the video, me and him talking, reminiscing from back then, because they used to call us back then twins, Melvin and Melvin.
Okay.
So I got a long history as far as the hip-hop, when Mike Tyson come around, New Edition, Bobby Brown, Kid and Play, Force MDs, Young MC. I was there when DOC hurt his neck. I didn't even know who DOC was. And we had went to a...
He from Dallas. Shout out DOC.
Right. In fact, after he got into the wreck, when he hurt his neck, we was all at a celebrity basketball game at El Camino College with the Golden State Warriors. That's when it was Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway, and Mullins. Steve Berline was there, the quarterback, and the other ones there. And so we walking through the parking lot, and I see a dude with a long leather coat on and a blue bandana, but he's kind of distraught, and he hurting. He's saying, and I'm noticing him, he's steady saying, I'm through with money, I'm through with money, I'm through with money, my voice. But I didn't know who he was. So I asked Mike, man, who this brother over here crying about his throat and everything? He said, oh, man, that's DOC.
Wow.
Then DOC ended up going to Dallas, I believe. This right when he had to make that. So I've been around hip-hop a good little while.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, back in the 70s, when you said the crack first came out, right? I'm like, where did the crack come from?
As far as the cocaine?
Yeah.
Well, Marv could probably, from me, it was coming from the white man. Who else gonna have a boat or a ship or something that could bring it over? But I tell you what was happening on the west side, it was a fashionable drug. You'll see the disco everywhere it was fashionable.
Yeah.
It was a status drug. But once the blacks started having money in the game, that's when they started criminalizing it. The 10, 20, the cocaine, 5 grams of crack, you get a life sentence. 10 pounds of powder crack, you only can get 10 years and stuff like that for the tons. So when the cocaine game came out, I think that the white man brought it, but the Mexicans are the ones, not the Mexicans, say from the little border right in Tijuana. We talking about guys that were at war in over in these foreign countries where they were using automatic weapons, which also when the cocaine started coming over here and being dispersed in the city, they also were bringing the weapons of war And that's when the gunplay changed on the street. It went from the Saturday Night Fever to 38 and at the max, a sawed-off shotgun.
So they brought
now
the
you're
guns.
dealing with the AK-47, the Uzis, and that's what came out at the beginning. So just me, I just look at it like the government had a play in bringing the cocaine over. They in charge of it. It wasn't that many hell of a guys back then to where it was fashionable to be a drug dealer. The Nicky Barnes, the Tootie Reeses, the Wade brothers, Felix Mitchell, who rest in peace, Mickey Mo, 6ix9ine Mob, and these type of guys. They had a different perspective as far as getting the money.
When you I want to fast forward a little bit into nowadays. I was looking and I seen Cowboy when I believe Eric Holder was going to trial or whatever. I don't know, but it seemed like it came off. They said he was a snitch, and then I started seeing him going on different shows. Do you know Cowboy?
Yeah, if you look on my, cause I don't go on Instagram, YouTube, or none of that, cause it's too much friction going on there, verbal gymnastics, tongue wrestling, and like I say, lip boxing.
Yeah.
And it's being infiltrated and watched by law enforcement. So if you want to see a lot of going on with me, I'm on YouTube where it's closer in proximity to the people I'm talking to. Mm-hmm. But last week, I think they gave Nipsey a star.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Well, if you look on there, you'll see about a 3-minute interview where Cowboy is standing on the horse, and we had a dialogue to where we talked. So I actually talked to Cowboy, and I did an interview with him on Cab Mac. But when it come to him and people, I get some inbox. Oh man, he's a snitch. But when I look at it from a pure point of view, all I do is see that he witnessed his friend getting killed. That's all I see. Cowboy's not a gang member. He might be a gang member, but he's not a gang banger.
Okay.
See, that's where you get this shit fucked up at. There's a lot of people that are gang members. You got NFL players that are gang members. You got NBA players that are gang members. You got rappers that are gang members. But that's all they are. Members, supporters, or understand it. But when you go to talking about a gangbanger, like Eric Holder, those are the candlestick makers. The game changed. Those are the 10%ers. Usually 90% of a gang, they're not bad kids. They're not doing the everyday criminality that a gang member, a hardcore gang member does. So when I looked at Eric Holder, Cowboy, I just know from other previous murders, and it's universal. I had a murder that happened one morning at 11:33 on a Saturday morning. I get a call. Hey man, one of your people just killed such and such. We think we killed him. I say, no, I just talked to him. Well, 2 of them live. It was 3 people. But I knew, once they knew my boy's name that did the murder, automatically knew the 2 survivors was going to tell the family. So when it come to Cowboy, it's a damned if he do or damned if he don't. They looking at it from, I look at it from, he witnessed something. It ain't got nothing to do with me. He got a right to say that. Then you look at it where they'll look at it and say, but he claiming the streets, and it's a code that go with that. So either way it go to me, he can't get around it.
Wow, yeah. Man, that's, and people in the neighborhood, because he's still in that neighborhood. He's still on his block.
And they not having no discussions like that up in the inner city as far as it's threatening him. You know, it's a lot of flake that come with it because the internet is like talking to a wall. You can be who you want to be. You can put up fake posters. You can be who you want to be. Mm-hmm. But that go back to being careless listeners.
Yeah.
To where you really don't research it, or you coming in with a biased opinion on what's going on anyway, where you already don't came in with a thought and an idea of what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, you see what's going on down in Atlanta with the RICO charges that Young Thug and those guys are dealing with right now. I don't know. I heard that it's on a state level, though. I'm hearing that it's not on a...
No, it's a state level. It's not a federal level. I got an 83-year sentence out of there where they got another law called the 7 Deadly Sins, just as deadly as the RICO Act, if not more. It's right up under getting the death
And you
penalty.
got this in Atlanta or in Georgia?
I got 83 years, and I'm on parole now. Where I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Fulton County, and I hear a lot of these Bootseats and all these cats telling these stories about the RICO Act, and that's not true. A RICO Act, particularly a state RICO Act, is a group of 3 or more between the ages of 12 to 24. That is considered a street gang. But people don't really even know the difference between a street gang, a prison gang, a criminal gang, and there's a big difference. These guys here, Young Thug and them, they're basically creating criminal acts within a little area. They're not crossing state lines, or else they would have federals. Another element that they don't have is they're not considered a criminal enterprise. Another element that they don't have is you must own real property to where they can seize it. In other words, they're seeing the profits from your illegal gains being put into something. That's called asset forfeiture. So when Young Thug and them was arrested, that gives them the state RICO Act. But people don't know how the system go when you get arraigned for that. Now, when he first got arrested for the indictment, see, in most states, you'll get arrested in 48 hours or 72 hours. You're in court for arraignment, where they're going to say this your charge, come back 2 weeks later, we're going to have a pretrial to see if we have the evidence to hold you up. But that's not how the system works in Georgia. When you get arrested, in their case, when they first got arrested, they already had an indictment. All they did was unsealed it. Then they arrested them. Now, when they went to arrest them, they found guns, drugs. That's the new case they got, that they just got. But it didn't come from the RICO Act. It come from the fruit of the poisonous tree, to where it started there. So this is a separate charge, to where I had said on Cam Capone 90 days before that. So when they got the new case, you have 90 days. That's why they didn't have no bail again.
Okay.
You get 90 days. Once they, then they're gonna come back with this new one, and in 90 days they're gonna unseal it, and then you're gonna have a no bail. And that's what happened to them. It's very hard to get a bail in Georgia. They will drag you. I stayed in the county jail 2 years in Gwinnett County. But Fulton County is the type of police station where I was in there. I used to run around with Brian Nichols. That's the one that killed the judge, the bailiff. I used to be when he was on death row, and we was in Jackson together, in behind E-Wing where he was at. I used to chop it up with him. But Fulton County, if you have money, you can pretty much, in their case, they might not be able to buy their way total freedom, but they might be able to see where they can see some daylight. Because I done been there at Fulton County where the police done brought in guns, where they don't pay them and they don't shot each other in jail. If you in Fulton County, that's the place to be, where if you got some money, you might can get a little bit justice and get a little bit more freedom.
Wow, that because you got one lady down there, I believe she's the DA.
Her name is Mrs. Fana Williams, I think, F-A-N-I. I know Fana Williams.
She says it's going to be 2 more.
Oh, if she said it, it's already been, they got the indictment. They just haven't unsealed it. And let me tell you a little bit about her that a lot of people don't know. She also prosecuted Trump for voter fraud back when he was running for election, and he was saying Atlanta, Georgia, and all of them were committing voter fraud. She prosecuted Trump behind that. See, she had ran before for prosecution, head DA or whatever down there, and she lost. But she had a vested interest in getting Young Thug there because of the fact she knew the murder victim family. So she had an incentive to come there. But if she say there's 2 more indictments coming, you can pretty much bet that they already have them and they haven't been unsealed.
If she said it's going to be 2 big rappers, then she's 2.
Oh, if she's saying that, she already got it.
I know one of them, but I ain't putting it out there though.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She said it'll be 2 more, and she's pretty adamant about it.
No, they don't. Let me tell you another murder that happened, which was the Marquise Prude murder, the way 11-year-old got killed at our daycare center, and I was holding a press conference, and we had a town hall meeting, and I was with the victim's mother, Sharon Williams. And so we standing there, and the head of police get up there, Chief Parks and all them. This when he was Chief Parks, before he was councilman, and he said, the police said, hey, we guarantee we're going to catch a suspect within 72 hours. So I looked at her and I said, you hear what he said? And she said, what? I said, he just said they're going to catch somebody. You can bet that's what they're going to do. So a lot of times when they make them statements, they're standing on where you can take it and take it to what it says, because a lot of times they won't tell you the information about a murder. So if a prank call come in, they can distinguish, hey, this guy, but if you tell them something that they don't know that involved the case, then they'll take it a little bit more serious. So they got a way of weeding out what's real and what that. But when they speak, they usually speaking on the truth.
I seen a deal where, didn't you see that where I think they're saying that Charleston got surrounded by Meek Mills and them?
Yeah.
Is that, do you? But there's
Vegas.
never no video around.
In Vegas.
Vegas.
I mean, they got cameras everywhere, but like you're saying, people don't expect to just see it.
Well, I don't know why when everything they do, they trying to go viral. And it seems like every time he create a story, there's nothing to back it up. So why not go with the facts that all we going by is what somebody say? And that's what happens a lot in this. When I think of, and I talked to him, by the way, when I had got these transcripts. What's his name? NBA, Soulja Boy. When that happened in Florida or whatever, and somebody's, like I said, I don't look at the internet, but somebody sent me the tape. But when I listen, I hear where it said Charleston White and them sing Soulja Boy walking. So they created the situation by getting out, going up to them. See, that's a careless listener. So now you would infer, oh, they crossed paths, when in fact, Charleston White, there was no videos there. There was no swollen eyes from the mace. And I already, when they called me, I said, man, don't come calling me about him saying he sprayed. He ain't maced nobody in the eye. Then you heard him, everything he say, I'm suing WAC 100 for 500. Ain't no lawsuit. I'm suing this. All of it is puff, it's smokes. And when you really look at it and let's look at his body of work. I ain't heard or seen him do nothing but run his mouth. And I ain't got nothing, there's nothing wrong. But if you're talking, y'all sit and support, let's match up with me and Marvin and let's see what we've been doing. And they can start off with their resume, him, Dewberry, and Say Please. All of them can jump up on here. That's what we want to do. We want to step to the mic, see where you at.
Man, I just know a lot of stories is coming out on and I know you will say it in a minute. Like these guys are they're not even, these things are not happening. These guys are not. But these narratives are being drawn out here so fast, so quick. Every week, every 3 days is something where people are trying to stay relevant. You can't tell that that's what's happening out here?
I can tell it, but...
Right?
That's happening every day.
Yeah, but it's like a new hustle now.
WAC 100, I guarantee you, WAC 100 going to have some come out on Clubhouse.
Tonight.
Sometime or another this week.
Tonight.
Because it's lucrative, too. It's very lucrative for things to keep happening on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way it stays interesting.
Mm-hmm. But to me, it's a ceiling.
Yeah.
Where you only can go so far, and the same repetitive stuff gonna wear out to where the truth, like I say, the truth can never coexist with a lie. So you never see 2 people on there. Look at all these podcasters. It's one-sided. And that's how Hitler controlled the Jews, through propaganda. We got a newspaper in L.A., the Sentinel newspaper. The only black newspaper, well, they got a few more, but this the most prominent one. But when the elections come around, you won't hear both candidates in this newspaper. They're going to have the one candidate that they support. And if you got a voiceless voice or don't have no other avenues, your voice will get drowned out. And that's what's going on a lot on this internet, to where people quick to go up when the camera's up, but where you at when the boot's to the ground and the camera's not around?
Yeah. That's something that's very important, man. And like I said, when I look at all of the different ways that these entertainers are trying to stay relevant, they're using the internet, of course, to make that relevancy continue. You know what I mean? And like you say, though, at some point it becomes something that it gets to be something where you need something other than that, right?
They use the internet and people's pain to
Yeah.
make their stories better.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing that people are doing on a more consistent basis this year than they did 5 years ago or even 3 years ago.
But it's amazing that people will pay more interest in the internet than they will their own family.
Wow.
Hell, yes, they will.
See, that's where we going too far.
That's real.
You ain't gonna the first thing I was brought up on was, don't speak to strangers. So why are we listening to people that we don't even know about, that have no direct impact, but we'll listen to a stranger, whereas like in my case, I didn't listen to my mother or father, and you go to getting to where you're getting false narratives and false guidance that leads you down the wrong path. And so me and Marv, we don't try to even discuss, you'll never see a broadcast well with me. Marv being a little bit more drama, he gonna make it happen. Marv ain't backing down, but me, I never talk down on nobody or speak somebody business. That's just not in my nature, because like I say, I don't want to see nobody get hurt. Particularly when it's just over words. I'm a fair man to where I believe if you're threatening somebody's life, don't get mad if yours get taken. That's when you're threatening somebody's life. But when you're not threatening nobody's life, no more different than when you get a 25-year to life sentence like I got for $2 worth of dope. I only was hurting myself if I was using drugs. But I'm not threatening nobody's life. But I sure got my life taken if it was left up to man. Man will take your life, but God can always give you a new life.
Man, yeah, that's man, those spoken words. So when are we getting our next book, man?
Man, they've been asking me to write a book, but I really don't like to write about my past or really talk about it, because what'll happen, you'll get killed by association. Like, a lot of my friends got murder convictions, not charges, and I have a picture up there, and then I get an inbox. Oh, Melvin, they killed my husband. Oh, Melvin, this. So I'm tempted about writing a book, because if it would be true, it ain't gonna be like the stories you hear and see on the internet, and they popping it and ain't gonna throw a rock in a race ride or none of that shit. That ain't how this going. It's a whole different ball game from back then, from the early 70s. As opposed to now. We couldn't come in the game being no actor, rapper, or no entertainer, or no image where we wearing Levi's, got fake tattoos, teardrops make you a killer, all that. No, none of that mattered back then. That wasn't how the game went. And so I'll probably end up writing a book when I get enough time to where I can be at peace, because I can write very well. But I'm not at peace to where I'm sitting comfortable enough. I done been offered $50,000 start the book, but I just ain't really in the right frame of mind to where I really want to go back in that age and time.
Wow.
When you started wanting to do right, like, how many people came at you and like, what made you want to do this? Like, what made you want to go straight out instead of standing in the streets like that?
Well, what made me go straight is when I seen them wasn't playing when they gave me that 35 years to life. And I asked, why me? I didn't do the crime. They planted the drugs on me to get me the case, to get me out the way. And then earlier today I said, well, maybe it's God pushing me. But really, since I was the first one to ever get out up under the California 3 strikes law in history, we was at a level 4, which is in California. It's the highest maximum security prison you can go to. Minimum, maximum, and then this is the highest level where you don't see the sun come up, you don't see it go down. You're going to get maybe 2 hours yard time. You're going to walk in a straight line with a human walk where you're doing a human diamond line. It's pretty much, you're not getting a job for 10 or 12 years. It's like salt land on wood. So anyway, we had a yard where nobody's going home. Everybody's lifers. We all trying to do what we can, and everybody knew I had a chance on getting out on an appeal from a life sentence, which is, you heard earlier Mar mention one of Geronimo Pratt's and them, George Jackson, them comrades that's been in jail 50. It's usually very hard to come out from a life. So when I got the paper on the appeal, everybody was standing around looking out the cages. And I was shaking so hard because I knew my life. If this paper say denied, I'm dying in prison. It's over. It's over with. But when I opened it, the first thing I seen was, we won. And I just told them, shouted out, I'm gone, homies. So everybody, I had to wait 90 days. That was kind of stressful because the appellate court could file an appeal, even though it would have been meritless. It still would have tied me up 2 more years. So from them seeing me getting ready to go, all of them gathered around and said, Melvin, don't forget about us. And so that inspired me to keep my word, because a lot of these guys I've been knowing more so in jail, and I've been knowing them all my life, but we've always been in jail doing what we do as opposed to on the streets. And I just took it upon myself. I wrote a book in 1998. I wrote that in 6 hours. That's still relevant. Then come 2000, I was with a political action group to where we actually wrote a law called the California 2003 Strikes Initiative. I'll send you a picture. And we did that. And then I joined Families to Amend 3 Strikes, which was facts. CATS, California's to Amend 3 Strikes, and stuff like that. And then we opened up, who is that? Puff Daddy, 2014 after I got out. Puffy had started Revolt. I was one of the first guests on there when he started it in Inglewood. Most people think it's on the East Coast. Revolt started in Inglewood, and I was one of the first guests on there. And from there, I started doing civil rights, legal work, high-profile murders, whether it be by friend, family, or foe, or those that are here to serve and protect you. And I just started doing things to where I just started leading by example, to show youth that if I can do it, you can too.
You know, it's a lot of. We had you seen that the video that's coming out about Zero when he was on the ground like that, and that other guy was hitting him. And now he came out and spoke and said something.
I haven't watched it yet.
He spoke. He said something like, they jumped on, or they led him over there to tell him something else. Then they jumped on him. It was he said that they had a gang of people to jump on him.
It was a gang of people.
But how detrimental is that to 2 artists when one's pretty much taken out of his element like that, where all of the fans think he's one thing, but then you see him get brawled on like that on a stage where everybody in the world is sharing it.
But I didn't see it, but
it's Zero. That's the artist,
the rapper or whatever his name is. But at the end of the day, when you take away the future and him being a rapper or whatever, and just look at it, all I'm hearing is a young man was out in the public and he got jumped on.
Yeah.
So, what you gonna do about it? Y'all couldn't say he a rapper, but like Charleston White say, he's seen airmen. I'm finna go into character since everybody can go into character and it's an excuse. So right now I'm in the character. How about that? So when Charleston White goes and talks and does the same thing, it's a difference. But with this young man here, all I see is a young man that was out in the public and he got jumped on. If that had been anybody else, their asses would have been to jail. Once again, it come back to accountability. Y'all will let a man on here that'll say, fuck Farrakhan, fuck what's his name, Martin Luther King, fuck Harriet Tubman. But if it was a white person saying that, now one of you black shows would let him on there. Y'all will be in an uproar. But when a black say it, it's acceptable. We are our own worst enemies. We need to clean our own house before we even go talking about the police house dirty or any other race dirty. We're the closest to each other to where we need to get our act together. Fuck all this old crazy ass internet talking. All those guys with platforms or think they got platforms, they need to change the dialogue to where they all start coming together and using that platform to give back. Because I don't heard everybody, but I ain't seen nobody name one of them that don't did something for the community. Y'all chasing a ghost. That's some bullshit.
Wow. Man, I got to agree with you because that's what it's really supposed to be about, helping other people.
Yeah, but it don't change to where people sit up here and hear this idle gossip. And really, they really looking to see who going to get hurt next.
Yep.
They ain't looking for no information. They're only looking to see who ass going to get killed next.
Because I guarantee you, if they would just talk to each other, you wouldn't have heard that at all. You wouldn't have heard that at all. You seen them start fighting and stuff. That's when they want to post it, put this stuff on. Like they live for the negativity, and they hate they hate, like social media hate the truth. It's like once you start putting the truth out, they don't give a damn about that. They still gonna push to the side and take the negatives and run with it. They don't care, bro.
No, all they want is sound bites and likes. But I don't hear about nobody saving somebody's life. And talking about the lyrics and rap, all these guys, that shit ain't gonna change. The only way you can change something like that, where you talking about the First Amendment and laws and constitutions, you better have case law. Nobody opinions matter about the lyrics in rap unless you got some paperwork behind that saying why this is offensive or shouldn't be used.
But I'd ask you something, and I'll go back to Cali for a minute. Where were you at? Were you locked up when it was the East Coast versus the West Coast?
No, I was out.
What did you think about that when that was going on?
Well, I had a different mindset. Like when Biggie was talking about he coming to Cali, the niggas in California was saying to get killed.
When you going back, I'm going back to Cali.
And they was waiting on him saying, yeah, you coming back to get killed. That was the
slogan.
That was the slogan with that. So when you talking about back then, at that time, I'm not gang banging, but I'm in the shit in the streets where we doing hustling and stuff like this. And that camaraderie ship was still going on, and it had turned into a issue of where it wasn't local. It don't went on a national level where we from the west side, y'all from the east coast, and it was going down like that. Although I knew both parties involved, but at that time,
did it bring California together more during that time?
Well, what happened is California can come together and shut everything down when it comes down to it. California is the type of state where we stand up. We fight for ours. We are in a survival mode, whether it be in prison or on the streets. We've always been survivors. I've never seen a homeless person commit suicide yet. Only the rich.
Wow.
So,
when I seen you last time, I don't know if I asked you this, but I'm going to ask you now. The riots, were you out when the riots was going on, when the Rodney King thing happened and all that?
Well, I had been locked up prior to that behind some other shit, behind the Trae gangsters, because that's who footballing them. But what happened with me on that, when the riots happened, I was in custody, but they came and locked me up the day of the riots and called me in and then put me in the hole behind the riots. Then when I got out right after that, to show you how the system is, they had went and took all the guns from the surplus where they said and by the way, they're still investigating the 40-something murders that occurred during the riots that were civil rights violations.
Wow.
That haven't been solved today. So when I got out, they had a statement to where they were saying the Trae gangsters had surrounded the Western Surplus, which is a gun store. And they ended up finding some guns that were buried in the backyard. Even though I wasn't there, couldn't have nothing to do with it, I got picked up in the raid and ended up going to jail on a violation behind something that didn't happen. So I came out right after the riots had occurred with Reginald Denny and football and all them, the LA Fort. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that like during that time, like I said, that was before Death Row. No, that was early on.
This was in 92, 90, right up around in there.
Yeah, and like I said, there's been a whole bunch of success. You got Hollywood there, Rodeo Drive. You got a whole bunch of. When I come out there, man, and my uncle and them out there, it's just so much. It's so much history out there. You know what I mean? And then to go back up by Slauson, I heard that they opening back up. Not the one over there, but they relocating and opening a place, a marathon somewhere else. Is that true?
Well, it could be true. I know the other one is going by the wayside because of gentrification on that side of town. That's an influential area that goes and leads up in the SoFi Stadium. But usually when you build any type of stadium, whether it be the Forum, they start getting rid of undesirables. When they built the Forum, 69 or 70, you had prostitutes and hoes over there on Century. Then they built the Staples Center and they started displacing the homeless, which was in the downtown area. They didn't offer them homes. They started making tent cities and locking up them because of mental health issues where they should have been going to a hospital. They were incarcerating them because most of them doesn't have the capacity to think, and they just used them and stuff. So at the end of the day, a lot of things had been changing over there. Where it come from, the gentrification and stuff like that.
Did you ever? Do you remember when Master P got real popular and he was living in California? Mm-hmm. But Snoop ended up going over there after Death Row. But did you guys? I mean, with his influence, were you ever encountered in any of the No Limit movement?
Well, I never was. See, I wasn't in the entertainment. I was around it, but I'm a jacker. I'm getting money all type of ways. I'm not no drug dealer. I'm robbing ice cream trucks or armored trucks, and we got guys that are having money also, but they just wasn't drug dealers. And I never looked at hip-hop, basketball and all them as superstars or nobody to look up to where, oh, that's Master P. Whereas to me, it'll be Master P standing next to me that give him credibility. Not me him standing next to me. Oh, that's Melvin with not with this culture here.
Because of who you are
and we from the culture that they probably he might be from New Orleans and they got a different flavor. But when it comes to the West Coast rap, we are the culture. We are the ones that they talked about to create the culture in which it is now. Sorry to say, but that's how that culture came. So when hip-hop started to me on the West Coast, it was about knowledge on the East Coast. They spit knowledge, having fun. But when NWA and us, our culture wasn't the same. Ours, we couldn't sing about no goddamn twisting on your head, pop locking. We got Soul Train gang banging and pop locking. They got, what is that, when you break dance and all that. That's something that the streets not gonna do in LA. They not gonna be popping and acting like no robot, not the street dudes. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see so much uniformity in their dress, their codes, their language, their dances. They got CRIP walk, they got blood walk and G walk for Chicago. That's uniformity. But what we're missing is unity, to where we all up under one common goal. And once we obtain that, UNITY, which they been spoke about, but that's what we're lacking, the structure and the unity. Once we get the unity, we already have the warriors. We don't need money. We need soldiers out here.
Man, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. We love you, Melvin, man. You one of the guys that, like I say, anytime I interview you, I get to go through that history. That's why I love talking to you. I call you.
Story every
man,
time.
he gonna tell you what's going down, man. And we just appreciate it, man. And people got to value that. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, man. When you come back to Texas,
before you
leave, right?
I got one more question about that book.
Oh, about the book?
It's the second book you're trying to write. Why you just won't get somebody else to write the book for you? I mean, you write the book, but just get somebody else to put it out so it won't just come back on you like this.
No,
you saying so it won't
ghostwriter?
Yeah. No, he's saying
it's not ghostwriting.
like your stories that you telling, but then where it doesn't put you as the person.
You can have somebody else to put it out.
He too real to probably even do it.
Listen, he still get proceeds from it. He gotta Do it the way so it won't come back on him.
You know, a lot of people asking me to write the book, and I just, like I told Wally and Joey Badass now, they, man, just focus on the book. Just focus on the book. But I told him, man, no amount of money you can offer me at this moment to write anything. No amount of money. When the guy tell me it's time to write it, then that's when I make the choice to write it, because I'll be at peace. But right now, too much going on. I got 10 years left on parole, one argument from being homeless, and all this goddamn shit. And so I don't have time to be concentrating on no goddamn book.
What about Joey Badass, man? You just mentioned him. I mean, like, give me a little spiel about that relationship and how you even know Joey Badass.
Man, Joey Badass, we've been like a baby and pacifier since we met. He got a cousin that's head of security, Wally Baby Skull, out of New York, because a lot of people don't know ATL gangsters are pretty prominent in New York as well as other states. And so Joey and them, we met and we just kicked it off. Joey's a very intellectual, like a neon soul type of guy. Like, you see the chain and they say, oh, that's for Lucifer or something, but the chain he got also represents ore, rocks. Joey likes these type of things. You'll never hear cussing, disrespect, and he just took me up under the wing to where he teaches me things, but I teach him things, and we just got a wonderful relationship. Like when I told you they had shot and killed the 10-year-old boy, the 11-year-old Marquise Prude.
Yeah.
He offered $10,000 because I said we needed cameras, and the county wouldn't do it. So I told him, let me borrow $10,000 to put in.
To help the community.
To help the community to save these kids. So we end up getting that done. Then also, Joey worked with Mayor Como before he got ousted, to where he had gave him $25,000, $50,000 to help in educations in the school system. And the other week we just was together, where he finished a 29-day tour across the U.S. In 30 days. They went to 29 places. And right now, Joey's in the Book of Canaan, whatever that 50 Cent show.
Yeah, we seen it. We just started back going. It's just started back going.
He got a new album, 1999, 2000, that he just released. We just had a party. So usually when Joey touched down anywhere close on the West Coast, I'm usually right there beside him, and we just hitting corners and do what we do. And Absol might be there, Chris Brown might be there. Quite a few of them I get to meet, Scott Scorch, all these cats. And then the thing about it, like me and Marv go to a lot of events, but we're not starstruck.
Yeah.
We don't sit there, we don't lollygag, we don't get in their way, and they respect that.
No, it's to be respected, because you guys already been around. You guys are patriotic when it come down to that culture. You are our culture. So at the end of the day, it's a respect factor when they get around you guys. I know that. You know what I mean? And you ain't out there. You ain't got time to be doing all that, because you wouldn't even know how to do it anyway. You know.
But Joey's a wonderful kid. Fabio Foreign, that's my boy. Quite a few of them, Absol, Lamar Lubin, just a whole guy, Ice Cube, Snoop.
So you met Ice Cube before?
Yeah, Ice Cube grew up. I got a gang of pictures with Ice Cube.
I didn't. No,
Ice Cube's my boy. Ice Cube now from the West Side. Dub C stay right there. Yo-Yo grew up over there. Jinx was over there. Ice-T from the West Side. Quite a few of them come from off the West Side. Ice Cube is nothing but maybe, if I was walking, 15 minutes up the street from it.
Right in the same neighborhood.
I'm off 83rd in Western. We got streets, 84th, 85th, 87th, 88th. So you just go 83rd up to 111th or 108th where they start. That's no more than, if you're in a car, 5 minutes away. So
wow.
A lot, and they parents still over there.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about, man. Well, thank you, man, for coming on the show, man. We're gonna shut it down, man. The thing I can say is, man, keep on coming to Texas. Keep on pushing the narrative. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to say that y'all gotta get a podcast quick, because I know already it'll be so informative. You and I told them, man, that would be something. Man, I just can't wait to see it happen.
Thank you, man.
Man,
Thank you for having us
every
here.
day.
You don't watch it every day?
Yeah.
Money Moses,
Money Moses,
you know
he
Money
watch it
Moses,
every
my
day.
boy, man. Me and Money
I
Moses,
know it,
we
y'all.
in corners, we talk to them,
Don't
and we
worry.
start to stay in contact, man. But really, after all said and done, a lot of people be hearing these other guys yapping and running their mouths and trying to assassinate. You can't assassinate. The only thing a fake person is waiting on is for somebody, a real nigga, to expose them. That's what a fake nigga is waiting on.
Man, we're gonna end it with that, man. Check it, man. It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.